Welcome back to more of Cindered Shadows. Last time we had, well, basically the game turned into Crash Bandicoot for one chapter. We were running away from an invincible obstacle. And now we'll see what we're gonna do now that we have the chalice. So, yeah, let's go.
Well, that was awful. I'm never going back down there, that's for damn sure.
Well, I mean, the gates are all closed, so you couldn't really even if you wanted to.
With things like that wandering around, you couldn't even if you wanted to.
Oh, and hi, game predicting what I was saying. It was a valuable learning experience. We've learned not to piss off ancient robots that guard things.
Aren't you optimistic? There were a few times I was sure we were done for.
You know, I just realized something kind of horrifying. We just shut the doors behind us. On the bandits. We just left the bandits in there, trapped, with the vengeful spirits and robots. That's, best not to think about what's happening there right now.
Has Elfric yet returned? We must present the chalice to the church at once.
You're all safe? How could you sneak off at a time like this?
Some strangers from the outside have kidnapped Master Elfric.
I had a feeling it wouldn't be that simple, but I also have a feeling that Alfric arranged his own kidnapping.
Elfric? No, it cannot be true.
It happened as soon as he returned from the monastery. Bandits were lying in wait.
Bandits again. As always, they can't read rooms.
Damn it! How could this happen?
This was clearly premeditated. I am certain it is connected to the bandits we fended off earlier.
Unless somebody in here among us is a mole.
Have you alerted the church?
Wait, I thought we were against the church. I'm so confused.
Not yet. It all happened so suddenly. Do you think we should? Can we trust them? If we cause too much trouble, Abyss is doomed.
Oh, okay, right. They're like, alright, we should get them involved if there's something bigger going on. And, of course, Alfric being kidnapped has everything to do with the church. Because, yeah, he's one of them. But, of course, if we get everyone down here, then, yeah. I was also thinking about something, that thing that I said at the very beginning about how, like, oh, yeah, maybe if all three of the lords die down here, then, like, that war would be averted. Well, if word got out that all three of the lords died down here, it'd probably cause people on the surface to declare war on Abyss, and yeah, that wouldn't end well either.
Now isn't the time to worry about that. We're in no position to cover something like this up. The church has eyes and ears everywhere, so they may already know what's going on. Either way, go and tell them the news. Now.
Unless you're one of their eyes and ears.
Sure thing. Understood.
Also, if anyone was wounded, send them here. We'll patch them up with healing magic. Wait, where's Happy? And Linhardt?
Oh no, we left Linhardt behind. Don't worry, he'll be here in a few turns. His low movement means it takes a while for him to get places, but he manages eventually.
Happy, wherever did you disappear to? Elfric has been...
I know. Take a look at this.
What's that? Looks like some kind of fancy letter.
Having played a lot of Trails in the Sky lately, I'm expecting this to be a Blue Blanc letter.
That's because it is. It was lying in the classroom. We have abducted Cardinal Elfric. We can guarantee his safety, for now. If you want to help him, meet us tomorrow evening in the ruins of the old chapel. Bring the chalice.
Bring the chalice, exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. I doubt anyone's gonna get that.
Know that if you alert the knights, the Cardinal's life will be forfeit.
Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation.
No doubt about it. This letter must have been left by the people who abducted Elfric.
Then our enemy really is after the chalice. All the while, they were waiting for us to locate it for them. No, something about this does not ring true.
Well, it seems like all four of your crests were required to undo the seal, so maybe they had to wait for you to get it, because they couldn't get it themselves.
None of it rings true. So which part in particular are you talking about?
How did the enemy know that we were searching for the chalice to begin with? This can only mean that someone in Abyss is...
The wolves are doomed! Someone is a traitor!
You smell a rat. Someone who notified the church of our plan. It's no good talking about theoretical rats right now. First, we have to deal with the problem at hand.
And I want to draw your attention away from the fact that I'm the... Like, I feel like this guy could easily be a church spy.
Too true. For once, you are speaking reasonably.
But I still suspect Aelfric arranged his own kidnapping, and that he's going to be the big bad of this DLC, because that's the obvious answer at this point. All laws of genre savviness suggest that Aelfric is guilty. So I'm hoping they pull a fast one, and he actually turns out to be genuinely nice, and someone else is behind it. Hey, Sword of the Creator's back. And we can actually go around the Abyss now.
Aelfric's been taken hostage. Who could do such a dishonorable thing? It doesn't matter. Abyss needs him. We've got to form a rescue party. I just hope we're not getting in over our heads. We don't exactly know what we're dealing with.
I think... Is this music still the same? Anyway, over here is... It's just kind of interesting just how I've memorized a lot of the locations in this place already.
Things were dicey for a bit there. Gotta say, I'm relieved that no harm befell anyone in Abyss. I've made sure that the elderly and children are hidden in their homes. They need to stay safe. Nothing right now, but I might call on you for a favor later. So that's the deal. People are safe for now. But I can't shake the feeling that something's just off. All we can do at this point is focus on the problems staring us in the face.
You? Because I get the feeling that you're part of that problems at this point.
We've got to get Alfie back. I was abducted once, when I was
Oh.
My captor used me as a test subject in her twisted experiments.
Huh. Cornelia, maybe?
Maybe we can just give them the chalice and they'll release him unharmed.
Okay, that's interesting about Happy. So I actually haven't checked this. If any of the Ashen Wolves, like what their supports are like. No, they only have supports with each other. Wait. Oh, I guess it shows, like, only the ones of the people here. So maybe Yuri supports other people, but he doesn't support anyone out of the people we have here. But Balthus supports Hilda and Claude. Constance supports Ada. Yeah, that'd make sense. Happy supports Dimitri, Linhard, and Ash. Huh, of all the people here, I didn't really expect her to be the most Blue Lions aligned. But yeah, Yuri's even more mysterious because, yeah, he supports nobody outside of the Ashen Wolves. And, well, Byleth.
Might I have a word? It concerns the blackguards who abducted Aelfric.
I think Blackguard is the correct pronunciation of that, but anyway.
I alluded to it before, but I sincerely believe there is a spy in Abyss. We're in agreement then? Yuri is exceedingly devoted to his friends, but there are times that he can be a bit too trusting.
Wow, to me, Yuri comes across as the exact opposite of trusting. But you're throwing suspicion on someone else, which means you might be the spy. Like, right now, I get the feeling that if there is a spy, it's either her or Yuri. But then again, that could mean that they're going to subvert our expectations and the spy is actually, like... Yeah, Balthus hasn't really done that much so far.
Hey,
If you ask me, we can't expect to just mosey on by, hand over the chalice, and make it out alive. Nothing sounds better than saving Aelfric and roughing up the jerks who took him. It's just, well, as the relentless king of grappling, I'll be fine. But I'm worried about the others.
Okay, then.
okay.
The Ashen Wolves are strong. I don't think even they can do this on their own.
Hey, our first time visiting this place, it was a male warrior, then it was a female warrior, and now it's both of them.
You'll lend them a hand, won't you, Professor? Please, save Aelfric.
It's gotten pretty dangerous around here, so we've sent all the children back to their homes. I hope Aelfric's all right.
Well, at least he's not going to be giving the children any more candy.
Welcome. Please come again.
We were hoping the chalice would protect Abyss, but it's the reason Aelfric got captured. That's ironic. The people here really adore him. I'm sure they'd appreciate our help getting him back. Then again, are we getting too involved? Maybe we should leave before we make things any worse.
The identities of the cardinals are a closely guarded secret of the church. Yet Elfric's status was disclosed in that letter. Could this signal a power struggle within the church? Or perhaps that's what they want us to believe. Either way, we should pay close attention.
Yeah, trust Edelgard to, well, distrust the church at the drop of a hat.
So it turns out old Elfric is a cardinal, huh? Hard to imagine such an important figure getting abducted.
Okay, so, that will mean that in Silver Snow's endgame, if he survives this, he will be one of the white beasts we end up killing there.
And whoever took him somehow knows we have the chalice. I bet they know how to use the thing, too. I doubt they just plan to decorate their mantle with it.
It'd be kind of funny if it turned out that the big bad behind all this was just like, I think the chalice is pretty and I want to hang it on my shelf.
According to the legend that Elfric shared with us, the chalice has the power to bring back the dead.
Yes, and it's not a pretty picture. I don't like doing it.
Are his captors hoping to resurrect someone? Or perhaps they simply intend to sell it for an exorbitant payoff.
Yeah, I'm sure a resurrection item would sell for a lot of money. I just suddenly had an idea that it's like, oh, maybe you could get it and you could just use it to revive somebody on, like, classic mode.
The leader of the group that took Elfric. I've seen him before.
Because it was Elfric.
He wouldn't hesitate to slaughter an entire town if he stood to gain even a little by it.
Oh, Cossus is dead at this point.
His laugh chills me to the bone.
Okay then. So, laughing guy who wants to slaughter an entire town.
I have seen nothing. I have been here, in this place, where I always am. You cannot think it was me who did something. I am full of innocence.
So, I get the feeling you're supposed to be, like, from Bridget or something, given the way you speak. But anyway, I'm still on to you, Gremory.
Let's see.
I don't trust Gremories. That actually sounds kind of, not exactly racist, but like, well, literally classist, because it's about classes.
I was speaking with Happy earlier, and it dawned on me that she may possess a unique crest.
No, you don't say!
Perhaps it's linked to the 4 apostles. If so, then in the chasm... No, there isn't enough to back that up.
Well, I mean, there's the fact that all their crests are exactly the same as the symbols on the chasm, but that's apparently not hard enough evidence to you.
Oh, sorry, Professor. I need to think on this longer before sharing my theories.
Hey you, listen up. I've got something to report. And it's me. I'm a failure. A farce. An insult to the noble title of Abyss Keeper.
I did not live up to the mimetic glory of my brother, the Gatekeeper.
Master Elfric's done so much for me. I wanted to pay him back one day, but instead, I let this happen.
Don't be too hard on yourself. I get the feeling that Master Elfric is evil anyway.
I'll never make this up to him. I'm disgusted with myself. Don't look at me, I'm a monster.
Okay, I won't look at you. No, that's too mean. I'll still look at you. I wonder if that guy is... He probably isn't going to become as much of a meme as the Gatekeeper has.
It all happened so fast. But they forced their way in and took Elfric. There was nothing I could do.
Because I was passed out drunk at the time.
We all wanted to fight, but Elfric stopped us.
Yeah, that's even more suspicious.
He always thinks of others first, even if it means sacrificing himself.
Or the people were with him and he didn't want you harming his own men. Yeah, Wait, I've already... Huh. I don't see any more ... dots, but it's not telling me to go to the next chapter.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, you can switch them to their default designs, but I don't think it affects mounted units, like it says there. There's still nobody in the Wayseer's room. Oh, there is someone I haven't talked to yet. Up in here.
Elfric is a prominent figure in the church. If the Archbishop hears what happened, she
He might send the Knights of Saros.
And that'd mean he'd send Alois, and then we'd have to be tortured with puns. Puns, puns, the puns are coming. Run! Everyone, run from the puns!
That'd make things complicated. Folks down here don't trust him.
We don't take kindly to puns down here. Okay, I basically did a ton of forging just to get rid of most of my smithing stones, so let's go to the next battle. So, hot on the trail of the one who kidnapped Aelfric, who's probably Aelfric himself. What about the mysterious laughing village destroyer?
We really lucked out there. Fewer injuries than I would have expected, and most were minor.
It'd be kind of interesting if you started the next chapter with reduced heal magic uses because you spent some on healing villagers.
I suppose the only conclusion we can draw is that they really were after Aelfric all this time.
Perhaps they were instructed to avoid unnecessary casualties.
Damn it, that rules my faction out.
Is that Aelfric guy really a cardinal? Are the secret cardinals really a thing? I thought that was a myth.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because despite Silver Snow Endgame, which is really only just an excuse to have more enemies, the Cardinals, you hear a little bit about them early in the game, and they don't really play that big of a role in the story, so I guess they're expanding on that a little bit in the DLC.
Hard to believe. Did you folks in the Ashen Wolves know that?
No, that's news to me. The identity of the Cardinals is top secret, even within the church.
Yeah, pretty sure Aelfric is still, like, the only named Cardinal that we know of.
He never would have told us something like that. Oh, except maybe Yuri.
He and I talk about a lot of things.
Yeah, chances of you being a church spy is still pretty high at this point.
But right now, I'd say we have more important topics to discuss than his title. Aelfric's been kidnapped. What are we going to do about it?
Even if it is in the name of rescuing him, we simply cannot hand over the chalice to those scoundrels.
Let's just give them the thing and be done with it.
Professor, I came as fast as I could when I heard the report. I had no idea you'd be here.
Oh wow, I was joking about Alois showing up and he actually did. Is he gonna be playable?
Is this loud, excitable knight a friend of yours?
Yeah, friend of our father's. I don't know this man.
Precisely so. I'm Alois, right-hand man to the former captain of the Knights of Saros, Gerald.
Yeah, I feel like he'd probably like it if you said, I don't know this man. He'd probably treat it as a joke.
Oh my. That means our professor here is the child of a captain.
Aelfric knew both of our parents and he never mentioned that to them. Okay.
Now, about Aelfric's kidnapping. Since he's an important member of the church, we must use any means necessary to find him.
Also, I have a warrant out for his arrest. It says wanted, Aelfric, suspected of being evil.
That said, most of the Holy Knights have been deployed to deal with the Western Church.
Oh great, yeah, I joked about the Central Church being the Church of Not a Villain, but like really the Church of Definitely Not a Villain is the Western Church by far. I still feel like the Western Church is like the one faction in this game, apart from those who live in the dark, who is pretty much depicted as blatantly evil, because, yeah, it's like, I don't know, I don't want to go too far into this, but it seems like there are some people who are under the impression that, you fight the Western Church in paralogs because Rhea is ordering you to slaughter them for no reason. That is not true at all. You fight them in paralogs because they're being assholes, basically. And like, that one time that's in the paralog with Ash and Catherine, it's because they attack you first. And like, really they just tend to be depicted as just generally power-hungry.
Sure, but any knights are better than no knights, yeah?
Well, if you're talking about Knights, capital K, as in the class from the, as in Armor Knight, then, well, no Knights is always better than any Knights, which is tragic for me, because I like the Armor Knight class conceptually.
I like your attitude, though I'm still embarrassed that we're not in full force. But hey, at least we're quite forceful.
Badum-ching?
Here, take this letter. We believe it was left by whoever kidnapped the Cardinal. In it, the enemy clearly spells out their plan. They're after a chalice that was hidden beneath W.O.L.V.E.S.
This chalice was recently taken by some people who don't resemble us at all. We had nothing to do with that, and if anyone asks, we were in here, reading in the library, the whole time, not reading censored books, just reading normal books in the library, the whole time.
A chalice? Chalice? Ah, do you mean the chalice?
It is said that it is the legendary chalice of good humor, and if one drinks from it, everyone will find their jokes funny for all eternity. I must get my hands on that chalice. In fact, I was the one who kidnapped Alfric, so I would finally be able to tell good jokes. I mean, not really.
But no, why would it be there? I've never heard anything about it being stowed away in Abyss.
Okay, either that's another case of Rhea spreading this information, or what we took was not the real chalice.
Then this is gonna come as a shock, pal.
What in the goddess's name? Is that really the chalice from the legends?
Don't just whip that thing right out in public. That's probably not a good idea.
The probability of that is unassailably high. Yes.
It was guarded by a bunch of giant creepy toys. There was powerful magic protecting it and everything.
Yeah, and whenever something is protected by powerful magic, you should always break that magic and take it. It's still... Anyway, anyone genre savvy about fantasy knows not to mess with seals, come on!
If you say so. Wow. That means the story about the chalice being bound was true. Well, what's done is done. Oh, but I guess it's not done just yet.
You know, that cardinal is still kidnapped.
I must report this to Lady Rhea at once.
I get the feeling that might not be a great idea. Nobody stopping him? Really? No one? I thought some of the people here didn't like the church. Huh. That's interesting. Okay, let's see what happens next.
Cindered shadows. Betrayal.
Well, yeah, I guess we're gonna find out who our traitor is.
So that is what transpired.
Oh, whoa, everyone is actually up here in the monastery on the surface? Huh.
This is indeed the Chalice of Beginnings. It matches the descriptions in the few records of it that remain.
Crap, that means I didn't do a good job of destroying those records. I need to see to some things now.
Don't beat around the bush. What's our punishment?
You removed a most sacred treasure. Truly, it is my obligation to mete out punishment for that transgression. However...
It turns out this is the one transgression that is not punishable by execution, so you're fine.
You also helped the church locate a valuable artifact. In light of this good deed, I shall forgive the bad one. I do wonder... I am wondering whether your presence had anything to do with the artifact's unbinding, Professor.
Maybe, but I do think it was mostly due to the crest of the other four.
As per the Church Chronicles, the four apostles secured the chalice with powerful magic.
Coincidentally, there are 4 people here standing behind Byleth right now, all with the crests of one of those 4 apostles.
The only way to release the chalice...
Oh yeah.
...is by using the 4 crests passed down through their bloodline.
Oh, yeah, as in, you know, exactly what I was saying is exactly what she's saying right now.
However, given the special power you possess, perhaps you were able to unlock it yourself.
No, it was quite obvious it was their bloodlines that did it. I mean, all 4 of them were there and all of their crests glowed.
There is no knowing at present. For the time being, I will keep the chalice somewhere safe.
Well, obviously the chalice would not have been used during the main story, so, either we are gonna have to fight a battle on the surface at some point here, or, because I get the feeling that something's gonna happen to that chalice or something, because, again, we know this DLC cannot affect anything that happens during the main storyline. So, if Rhea had an easier method to resurrect Sothis, then a lot of things would be different, so we know that can't be, that can't end up happening. And we know that all the lords are still going to go in the directions their characters went in during the main story. So, yeah, everything, every plot point that is raised within Cindered Shadows has to be pretty neatly wrapped up within Cindered Shadows, is what I'm saying. Probably?
As for Elfric, I assure you that the knights will find and return him in due time.
My eyes went angry when I said Elfric, which definitely implies something.
I consider him to be one of my many children, after all. I will not allow harm to befall him.
Yeah, you're clearly angry. You're not doing a good job of hiding that, so I think Alfric is working against you in some way.
Lady Rhea, might I ask a moment of your time? We cannot be expected to give up our endeavor. The enemy stated most clearly that if the knights are involved, our dear Aelfric is finished. We owe him so much. If there is any possibility that his life is in danger, the risk is too great to chance.
True. The knights are strong and all, but they're liable to get him killed.
So this is like the medieval equivalent of don't tell the police.
We can take care of it, with Chatterbox's help.
Wait, who's Chatterbox?
Our professor has the strength of 100 knights. Or about 1.5 of me. We've got this. How about it, Rhea? We've been through too damned much to get here. Leave the chalice and Aelfric to us. You won't regret it.
Lady Rhea, please.
Given that Yuri is my spy, I agree to this request.
If you join your power with theirs, yes, perhaps there is hope. As you wish, I shall entrust you with the chalice.
Your Grace, the chalice is a legendary treasure. You can't just hand it over to those underground...
I get the feeling you have the same voice as Alois, which is a little awkward.
That is quite enough. There is no cause to worry, I assure you. There will be no further discussion on the matter.
Okay, so like I thought, we're keeping the chalice, which keeps it out of Rhea's hands, which again means that it can't influence anything that happens during the main story, so yeah, that was kind of inevitable.
Even if we lost hold of the chalice, it would be impossible for the thieves to make use of it. Though it was created to return a life that was lost, I doubt that anyone alive knows how to accomplish that feat.
What if Aelfric does? What if he's the only one?
If someone were to successfully replicate the ritual, it would perhaps be the work of fate.
You talk about that like you want somebody to happen to accidentally replicate the ritual. Yeah, I mean, she clearly wants the ritual to work so she can bring back Sothis. I mean, that's obvious if you played the main story.
Hey, boss. Been meaning to ask. How'd you end up down here in Abyss?
Yeah, I was wondering about that, because we don't really know his backstory, and we only know vague details on Happy's backstory.
What is this? Some sort of interrogation?
Oh no, don't worry. The real interrogation will come later once we find out you're the spy.
Yeah, you've never been big on sharing. I mean, you know all about me, and there's still so much I don't know about you.
Look, I get it. Talking about the past isn't easy. But I'm curious, yeah? So get to it. I've got all day.
Do you now? Well, I guess now's as good a time as any to tell you.
So they're dropping this guy's backstory now. The chances of him being the traitor have just increased quite a bit.
I'm here because I killed some people from the church.
Oh.
That cannot be!
That cannot be! Priests have very high defense. Oh.
Originally, I attended the academy as Count Rowe's adopted kid.
Oh. Oh. Oh, okay. You mean Gwendol, the Silver Lion or whatever, that guy who just kind of dies during part 2 and is just like, I want to die an honorable death against these students and is just kind of an idiot. That guy. Okay.
There came a point when the church ordered me to wipe out some members from my old gang. Told me it was part of some important mission.
Who is this old gang you speak of?
They were nothing more than common thieves to someone like you, Constance. Anyway, they're like family to me. So naturally, I protested my orders. Things got pretty heated and, well, the rest is history.
Oh, okay then. Couldn't you have just, like, hidden your old gang members? Or, you know, faked their death somehow? Or, yeah. You can tell I'm the kind of guy who always tries to think about situations that just don't involve resorting to straight up killing people.
That's some story, pal. You're damn lucky they didn't execute you.
You're telling me. Aelfric stepped in and implored them to spare my life. Told them to consider the circumstances.
Or Aelfric came up to him and said, hate to break it to you, kid, but you're gonna be executed. Work for me, and I'll make sure you don't die.
It's not so different for the rest of you. I'm sure he helped all of us out in different ways.
He did. I was about to be thrown in the monastery's underground jail. People thought I was dangerous, what with my gift and all.
Oh yeah, that.
It's dark and dingy here, but it sure beats a prison cell. Alfie really saved my neck.
Back to the point. W.O.L.V.E.S. What was it you were so curious about?
So wait, Aelfric specifically saved all of them, and they all happen to hold the bloodline that is required to get the chalice. I get the feeling maybe his intentions for saving them might not have been entirely altruistic.
You had ideas regarding why our enemies may be clawing after the chalice, perhaps?
No, nothing like that. But I am hung up on something Rhea said. That binding on the chalice was linked to the 4 apostles, yeah? I know I've got Chevalier's.
Sorry, but mind if I cut in?
What is it? Can't you see we're busy?
I can, but I just remembered something. Something important. Specifically, the names of the apostles.
Oh right, I'm sorry, but the narration already told us that.
Oban, Chevalier, Noah, and Timotheus. The 4 apostles whose bloodlines were lost to time. I figured the Ashen Wolves might have thoughts about all that.
No use hiding it now, Constance. Let's lay all of our cards on the table. As for me, I've got the major crest of Chevalier. When I enrolled at the academy, the church ordered me to keep that tidbit to myself. So I did.
And I've got the major crest of Oban. Never did sort out how it is I have this thing.
As for me, the blood of Saint Noah courses through my veins. This is kept hidden, even from the Empire.
And the Empire is usually pretty public about the saint bloodlines they carry, so yeah.
Which probably means mine's from Timotheus. I do have a vague recollection of being told my crest is rare.
So the 4 crests, which were presumed lost, have all been gathered into the same house.
You said crests. Crests, urge to blame rising.
All thanks to our buddy Aelfric, it would seem.
Yeah, Aelfric's getting more suspicious.
And now Aelfric has been abducted. Why could that be? If it was the chalice they were after, they could have stolen it from us without the need for anything sly.
Maybe someone had it out for him. Or maybe he messed around with the wrong people.
Or maybe he is the wrong people.
Or it could just be unrelated entirely. We're trying to untangle this mess by tying more knots into it.
Or maybe you're the wrong people. Trying to untangle this mess by tying more knots into it basically sums up me right now. My theories are just going all over the place.
I mean, W.O.L.V.E.S, you landed here on accident, didn't you? It's not like that's linked to the rest of us. And I could just as easily have never ended up down here, you know? You're jumping at shadows.
But you are trying to defuse the situation and take some of, stop people speculating, basically, so is it you?
Anyway, we don't have time for this. Let's get our act together and head to the chapel ruins.
Chapel ruins. When were we last at chapel ruins? Oh wait, when someone died. And someone was revealed to be evil. Yeah, I don't like where this is going. If this really is the same chapel ruins, though, hopefully the actual map will be better this time. So we all know this chapter is called Betrayal.
Professor.
Wait, what? Oh, okay, new exploration segment. I guess the previous exploration segment was like the exploration segment for Chapter 4, except it happened after Chapter 4.
Is Aelfric an enemy or an ally? He's worked tirelessly to protect W.O.L.V.E.S for years and years. Yet, had House W.O.L.V.E not met such a terrible fate, I would never have come to Garrick Mach, and Noah's bloodline would never... Can his kidnapping really be a simple coincidence? Or
now people in universe are speculating that Aelfric might be a villain, so maybe he's not. I'm confused.
I suppose it's all out in the open. Now you know just what I'm capable of. The church would have destroyed me ages ago if it wasn't for a certain someone having my back. My life was spared. It's a debt I intend to pay, no matter the cost.
Maybe they made sure he was spared because he carries a rare crest bloodline.
My head's gonna explode if I keep thinking about all this complicated junk.
You know, there's a guy called Bartray from E.L.B. that you would really get along well with.
For now, we just need to focus on rescuing Aelfric and sniffing out some answers. I know it's been one crisis after another, but you're still game to help us, yeah? We need you, pal.
The 4 apostles. Finally, it makes sense.
Hi, camera focus on W.O.L.V.E.S.
I never understood why my village was hidden away from the rest of the world, but now I finally get it. What a relief.
I wonder if you're expected to actually recruit them during the main story at this point and get their supports, because I feel like there's a lot I still don't know about these 4 people, and a lot of them do feel kind of flat and one-dimensional. Yeah, I just don't know.
You go to all that trouble bringing Lady Rhea a priceless artifact, and not so much as a thank you?
Hey, she didn't execute us for unearthing it. That's enough of a thank you in her terms.
We had to release the binding and everything! Well, I mean, it kind of released on its own, but still! Let's wrap this up and head home, so I can get some quality sauna time. Hilda needs a steaming.
Yeah, you can say that because, if you've bought this, you have the sauna, so yeah.
Huh. I can't believe my wild hypothesis was correct. I may not look it, but I'm shocked.
I know the feeling, because I accidentally guessed all 4 final bosses of this game.
It's like casting a line and thinking you've landed the big one, but then you reel it in and it said it.
What?
Okay, that was a weird analogy. The point is, I'm very, very shocked.
Please, please somebody make fan art of that. Please. Like, I implore you, I would pay you to make fan art of that. Actually, no, don't take my word for that. But anyway, still.
To be honest, I'm surprised Lady Rhea was so willing to just hand over the chalice like that.
Well, she knows that if she kept it in her quarters, then it would affect the main story, and we couldn't have that.
Doesn't the church consider it important? I know she said they wouldn't be able to use it, but something doesn't feel right.
Yeah, maybe she's hoping we do figure out a way to use it, so she can use it to bring back Sothis. Which, like, admittedly would not be, like, a terrible thing if it didn't involve sacrificing W.O.L.V.E.S. Because really, Sothis is pretty nice.
The descendants of the 4 apostles. Fascinating to think that their bloodlines carried on in secret, right under our noses. One was even disguised as imperial nobility.
Yeah, you would know about disguised imperial nobility, wouldn't you?
House Nouvelle was thought to be descended from Saint Macula, but that was a fabrication.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what's interesting? I don't think you get anyone with Macule's crest, like in regular gameplay. I think the only one who has it is Macule himself.
How did they manage to avoid detection for so many generations?
Interesting.
So it is. Lost crests? Aelfric's objective? Since our journey's outset, the mystery has only deepened.
The real mystery is why the camera would suddenly zoom in on your chest.
Please, forgive me. Using a loud isn't going to get us anywhere. For now, let's finish our preparations. I fear a battle is imminent.
This is Fire Emblem. A battle is always imminent, unless it's after the final chapter.
Those lost crests. They must all have their own relics, don't you think?
Yeah, we don't have the relics of, the other 2 crests. We only have the relics of, Balthus and Yuri's crests.
But before we dig into a new mystery, we better figure out the ones we're already working on. I have a theory, but actually scratch that. No use guessing when our answers await at the chapel ruins.
I wonder if Claude's theory is the same as mine. But yeah, theory, Yuri might be a church spy, and, Aelfric is probably a villain.
Somehow always keeps his cool. He's closer with Aelfric than anyone. So he's got the most reason to be upset.
Yeah, unless Yuri was in on everything.
I'm sure he's just really good at hiding the same feelings we're all having.
Yeah, and Yuri doesn't support anyone else who's here. Hey. Oh, the children are back.
It was surface people who took Aelfric away. But you're from the surface too.
So I must kill you. Aelfric said to kill everyone who was from the surface.
Maybe only some surface people are the worst. Anyway, good luck.
Because you do know that Aelfric is surface people as well.
The Ashen Wolves can take on anything. They'll make sure it all turns out okay, won't they?
It's not like one of them is a traitor or anything. I could be totally wrong about that, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, that's part of the fun of doing a blind playthrough, is just seeing what wild guesses you have about the plot turn out to be correct and what turn out to be, well, wild guesses. So we have someone else we can talk to around here. Oh, it's you again.
There is danger here, because we could be attacked. But the same danger is there for me on the surface. The only way to leave the danger is to disappear.
Okay. That's, terrifying and tragic.
Hey you, listen up. I've got something to report. Guess that's pretty usual here. Maybe it's not worth reporting. Perhaps I should say nothing to report? Nah, tried it on, doesn't feel right. In any case, about Master Elfric. Bring him back to us, okay? For my part, I'll look after things down here. If our enemy shows up, I'll stay by my post. I mean, I have to eat and stuff, but I'll come right back. Count on it.
I was about to say, yeah, we might bring back Alfric in chains.
Please. Maybe you think this is a bad time to talk about what we drink down here. But I'm gonna anyway. See, the problem isn't in the local ingredients. It's what's getting shipped in that's the issue. With the right equipment, we could probably make our own. Cut out the need to import anything. Hell, maybe we could even export some of it.
Ambition wine. That sounds like an actual food item you could get.
As soon as Elfric's back, I'm gonna see what he thinks of the idea. So, make sure Elfric comes back safe, alright?
Oh, don't say that. I get the feeling that what Alfric thinks of the idea is going to be... Well, you see, as that idea does not, Oh, these are exactly the things that are down where the Death Knight has Flame in Chapter 6. But yeah, he's probably saying, well, since this idea doesn't involve using the chalice to resurrect people and take over the world, then I don't approve of this idea.
If the church knows that Elfric's been abducted, why haven't the Knights of Seiros done anything?
It's because Alois lured them all into a pun seminar and now he's trapped them in a room and they're all listening to his puns.
I know you're all doing your best. I just hope it'll be enough. We can't afford to lose him.
After all, he's a scoundrel, and I love scoundrels.
Oh my. Elfric dies, Abyss will go right back to being the garbage dump it was before. Won't matter too much for an old codger like myself, but the kids, it'd be hard to see their hopes for the future crushed.
Now everyone is talking about Alfric dying, so maybe he's just gonna die.
Hey, friend.
Being caught alone by someone who sneaks up on you and says, hey friend, and who's already acted very shifty. Well, this could only end well.
Let's not deny that there's a connection between us. How about you and me have ourselves a little date, huh?
Now is not the time.
It only happens when I'm being a little greedy. When the bell strikes midnight, meet me out front of the Holy Mausoleum. My only condition is that you arrive promptly after midnight, and not a moment before. What say you? It's the most romantic time of the evening, of course. Or is the idea of a date with me not appealing to you?
Yeah, I wonder if people who, like, want to ship Byleth with him are, like, I wonder what they feel about this scene, because obviously this is suspicious.
Nobles have nearly killed one another fighting for my affections, you know. Perhaps you won't get all you want out of me. But I'll promise you a fun time regardless.
Well, that's laden with double meanings.
It's settled. I'll see you tomorrow night, friend. Don't stand me up.
Violet didn't say anything. Oh, wait, she's a silent protagonist. She can't say anything.
Your Grace, please reconsider.
Oh, it's that guy. The guy who I thought had a really cool portrait. He's from, like, a couple of support conversations, I think?
The chalice is among the Church's greatest treasures, akin to even the hero's relics.
I am well aware, which is why I have already dealt with the matter. Consider this. The hero's relics are fearsome weapons imbued with great power.
They are also literally made out of my relatives, so yes, I have a good reason to keep them protected.
On the contrary, the chalice has long lost the power it once possessed. It is little more than a token of history.
If that is so, then why is it still considered such an important artifact?
It was created for a sacred purpose. To use the blood of the 4 apostles to return the goddess to our world.
Okay, blood, huh?
Their blood.
Your Grace, is something the matter?
I have an urgent mission for you. Investigate the origins of the Ashen Wolves. Start with their enrollment forms for the Academy. Keep an eye out for falsified documents.
I'll help you with that, because I'm very good at creating falsified documents. I know how to recognize one.
Yes, of course.
Before you begin, Summon all Aris at once. I have new orders for the knights as well.
As you wish, Your Grace.
If I am correct, we haven't a moment to lose. Another tragedy is soon to transpire.
Okay then. Interesting.
That crumbly old chapel somewhere nearby, or what?
Oh wow, this is actually like the same place that Gerald died. Ugh.
I can play little part here, save perhaps as a bargaining chip for our dear Elfric.
Yeah, I get the feeling that you're all bargaining chips, and since it's just their blood they want, they could just kind of... Like, they didn't say how much blood. If it's just a few drops of blood, fine. But if it's, like, a lot of blood, then that's suspicious.
Getting yourself captured instead? That wouldn't be good at all, Constance.
Then you'd lose all of your inventory.
I think we should be more worried about B's appearance. I mean, he's got way more, life experience than the rest of us. And all that life experience makes you look more like a knight than a student, B.
You saying I'm old, pal? Don't forget, you're speaking to the ageless king of grappling.
I just realized I have not checked any of the Ashen Wolves roster profiles yet. And it may actually be too late, because I had the feeling we might be losing at least one of them in this chapter.
She's not wrong, Balti. There's a pretty big age gap between you two.
You're friends with Hilda's older brother, right? That explains your maturity. You make Hubert look like a spring chicken.
Now you're just making me imagine Hubert as a chicken.
Can it, will ya? Anyway, I'm wearing a school uniform. No way in hell they'll think I'm a knight.
That does not look like a school uniform.
Yeah, and anyone wearing a school uniform is without a doubt a student.
Yeah, I mean, just ask Monica.
To be honest, for a good while, I actually did think you might be a knight.
By the way, you are freakishly tall. Why are you so much taller than me?
Who made your uniforms and set up the Ashen Wolf House, anyhow?
If I might so humbly interject, that would be Elfric.
Of course it was.
He pulled everything together for us. Sometime after he was appointed as the guardian of W.O.L.V.E.S. Said he wanted to give former students who were expelled from the academy somewhere to live. Somewhere to belong.
High school English traumatic flashbacks.
Of course. All of this was established long before any of us were in the picture.
Okay.
Perhaps. After hearing all of that, it's not as unbelievable as I thought.
All I know is that he helped me, so I'll help him.
I strongly doubt that I shall factor into Elfric's retrieval, but I shall follow your lead.
There it is. We owe Elfric. Maybe your goddess doesn't care about debts, but my fists and I sure do.
Sorry to have roped you into all this, friend. We owe you. Just stick with us a bit longer, won't you?
By the way, remember, midnight.
This is great. Has me ready to get to it and start hitting things.
Midnight.
Ever since I was a kid, I've lived my life by one rule. That I'd only play my hand if I was guaranteed victory. I've gotten this far by using my cunning in any way necessary. Lying, cheating, even killing when there was no other way. But this next play? Well, the odds don't exactly seem to be in my favor. Not unless you trust me enough to provide me with an ace. Never you mind, friend. Let's just go.
You know, she can't exactly trust you if you don't tell her what you're going to do. Yeah, you can't just expect her to say, oh yeah, sure, I'll provide you with an ace. Oh, by the way, what are we doing? And then he's like, oh yeah, killing everyone in the whole world. And no takebacks because you already agreed to it. Anyway, that was a whole lot of really suspicious dialogue thrown around all over the place. I have no clue what's going to transpire when we go off this save screen, but I will keep you in suspense and see you all next time.